1, 2. There we go. I don't know why that wasn't connected. It seems a whole bunch of my audio things have reset for some bizarre reason. Anyway, hello, welcome to SquishiVision, where I've had to get rid of my HD camera that, you know, picked up light better and chroma keyed things better, because it actually wasn't my camera. It belonged to my university, and as my course wraps to an end, I've had to return it. So back to the old webcam, although I've managed, I think for some reason, the front on thing rather than it coming from the side monitor and the background being flatter is helping with the keying a bit more, because normally I wouldn't be able to do a green screen thing 10 o'clock in the morning because the way the light is, it wouldn't have been a clean green screen. It seems actually fairly okay, all things considered. Anyway, you don't want to hear about my, well, maybe you do, I don't know. This was She-Hulk, mean green, straight poured into these jeans, which I liked. And actually, so the last episode was the only one I didn't like because it had all the cringe humor in it, which I was expecting. And I said, you know, I didn't like the episode, but I realized I was entirely a problem with, no, it's not a problem, it's just my taste thing. And yeah, that episode wasn't to my tastes. That's fine. It doesn't mean the episode's bad, it just means it's not my kind of comedy. This actually redeems it a bit in the sense that it takes the cringy parts of the last week's episode and actually uses it as a meaningful lore plot twist, and I appreciated that. And yeah, so it kind of, in a sense, redeemed it. So in this episode, I don't know why I'm doing a recap. I never normally do a recap. I assume you watched this episode because there's spoilers in it, but essentially, okay. Oh, I also remember last week I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this because I have a big personal and professional interest in intellectual property law. I don't know, obviously, how accurate law is in this. A, because it's American law and my law is usually more... no, I know a bit about American copyright law because of the internet, but... I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I only know about intellectual property insofar as I create content and have to know how to navigate that, and I'm, you know, a journalist and whatever. But, sorry, I'm blabbering here. Basically, essentially it came down to she hadn't trademarked the name, and she had, but you know, it's case law essentially. It's like, well, technically yes, she did trademark it first, but if you can argue that this name is an identity and not a brand, and you can't trademark identities, you can't trademark someone else's identity. I know America has like different things about identity. In Britain, you just choose what your identity is. You don't have to, you know. Top tip, if you want to change your name legally, you don't have to actually do anything or pay any money or register it. That is a scam. There are websites which scam you out of money to register your doodle poll. You don't need to register your doodle poll. All you need to do is write a piece of paper that says, I relinquish my old name and legally go by this name. And that is all you need to do, and that is a legally binding document. That's what I do when I change my name. I mean, I only change my name slightly, but it's the same principle. Stop my kitten from eating bread. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but yeah, but I know in America, certain parts I think you have to actually register it to legally recognize the name change, so it might, but anyway, point is being, the debate here is, can you trademark? You can't trademark an identity. I think that's pretty much a universal kind of concept around intellectual property. You can only trademark creative, you can't trademark someone's real life identity. If their name is that name, you can't stop them from using it, essentially. You can't sue them for using it, and you can't use their identity to kind of exploit yourself off commercially. So the question is, you know, is it She-Hulk's identity? And you know, and it's pretty good to use a lot of examples from previous episodes. And it addressed the whole point about, because I was like, well, why was she bothered? She never liked the name in the first place. And they addressed that partially being like, well, it doesn't matter if she's bothered or not. It looks. Can you not stop my keyboard when I'm streaming, please, Lily? It doesn't matter if she cares about the name or not. Obviously, it's a bad look on her law firm if one of their big lawyers is getting sued for their name kind of deal. And also, I suppose the law firm would rather the name not be restricted because they use her name to kind of promote their services. And also, she's like, well, I kind of have stopping to that kind of deal. Those are kind of aspects. But yeah, they kind of explore the fact that she didn't like it initially, but then she actually did use it as her name, and so basically the part that redeemed last episode for me was the fact that because she used it as a way to go on things in her personal life, you know, go and meet people. That's her identifying as that person, and you know, a lot of people came and like, yeah, I know, I wouldn't care about this person if they didn't have that identity kind of thing. So that actually kind of, you know, redeems that last bit, and it was actually a pretty. This show is very. The show tried to like market itself as a lore show, but it's actually very lore light. So I guess it's fine because I don't think people would watch it otherwise. I don't think they would have come to Marvel for lore drama if it was like serious lore drama kind of deal. Excuse me, I just need to go just shout on my. Sorry, my kitten is trying to steal my older cat's food. Anyway, so what was I saying? So it's not going too hard into the lore kind of. You know, I need to watch more lore dramas. Actually, I'm a big fan of the lore drama genre. I don't watch enough lore dramas. Anyway, but they do cover it, and you know, they get some. In a pretty comedic way, like the fact that all those men were coming in like basically ripping her down, but that was her only way of winning was actually kind of funny, but in a very tragic way, and in a way which actually does kind of accurate. You know, I feel like, I mean, I'm not a woman obviously, but I feel like that's. I'm gonna assume, okay, with my man voice, that's relatable to some degree of women who have gone through kind of like similar experience, and obviously they have that kind of thing in a bar where they're like, yeah, all these men who think they're better than you just because they're men, regardless of your own kind of identity kind of deal. So that was all like pretty decent. And then I always like a kind of a kind of comedic scene set in a fashion place where a fashion diva is like very pretentious about fashion, and I always love those kind of pieces, those sets. They always make me kind of giggle. So that was good. And then he's designed kind of a bunch of suits, including a superhero suit, and we're going to edit a node on it. And then we get our. I wasn't entirely sure on the whole. What's her name? Nikki and the male lawyer. I can't remember his name. Their kind of side quest plot where they kind of dance in front of the camera and have to buy merch and figure their way racistly into a underground. That was I got a bit lost on, but it wasn't terrible. It was just a bit. It was okay. I was like, okay, we're doing this now for a wee bit, kind of deal. But yeah. So anyway, that happened. But yeah, then we get. So this is the penultimate episode. This is episode 5. This is a 6-episode series. I can't quite remember, but yeah. So we got our kind of Easter egg. Look forward to Daredevil appearing, which is exciting. But yeah, no, I liked this episode. I would have preferred if we went a bit deeper into the whole, you know, if we kind of dig deeper into the lawyer stuff. But again, I'm not turned away by it. I'm just like, oh, kind of wish we went deeper into this. But it's genuinely amusing me. I'm finding it funny. Some parts I'm like really finding funny. And you know, I went into it with like trepidation because I thought it wouldn't be. I didn't think it'd be bad. I just thought it wouldn't be my taste, but this is actually winning me over fairly well. I think it's one of the strongest Marvel shows so far. Certainly, I mean, you know, the strongest Disney Plus shows. I always think the best Marvel show will forever be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just because it was this, for the most part, always just hitting there. It was just so dark and dramatic. I loved it. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I am behind in a bunch of trailer reactions. And it's Saturday, and I have an essay to write, which I'm not going to write today because I've not had a day off in about ages. I went out to London for a bit for Operation London Bridge, so I'm going to do a bunch of trailer reactions just whilst I've got the setup going. So I guess I'm going to set this up now, so it'll be my channel in a couple of minutes. Yeah, stick around for that.